Hola! We've been working with adjectives describing emotions, conditions, and general descriptions. So let's take another look at el verbo estar, which means to be, more specifically to be feeling, to be located, a changing state. Let's take another look at el verbo ser, which also means to be, but to be like, a description, more consistent state. And finally, let's take a look at the difference between them, estar versus ser, when to use those two forms of to be. Let's begin with el verbo estar. The verb estar means to be, feeling, or located, a changing state. So here are the forms of the verb estar in the present indicative tense, what's happening now. Do you remember what they are? Yo estoy. Tú estás. Él, ella, usted, third person singular, está. Nosotros, nosotros, estamos. Vosotros, vosotras, estáis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes, third person plural, están. A few things to point out. The yo form has the y at the end. There's a grouping of verbs that do that in the yo form. This is one of them. Estás, está, estáis, están all have an accent in that last syllable. Very important that that is included. And estamos is the one, I would say, regular conjugation. Nothing too unusual about that. So some examples. ¿Cómo estás tú? Yo estoy bien. How are you feeling? I'm feeling well. Now notice I interject the word feeling in there. It helps me to understand that I'm using estar and not ser. So how are you like? I am well. Using the verb ser, that's a descriptive verb, a state that doesn't change. So in this case, how are you feeling uses estar. ¿Dónde están ustedes? Nosotros estamos en casa. Where are you all located? I'm interjecting located in there to help me understand that I use estar and not ser. So used with estar, here are some adjectives of emotion or condition that are used to describe physical and emotional states. So yo estoy aburrido. Tú estás cansada. Ella está contenta. Nosotros estamos enfermos. Él está enojado. Ellos están furiosos. Ella está nerviosa. Yo estoy ocupada. Ella está preocupada. Yo estoy segura. I'm sure. Ellos están tristes. They're sad. And examples of how you use the adjectives. And remember, the adjective needs to agree with the subject in both number and gender, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Of course, you also have to use the correct form of estar. Don't forget that when you use adjectives with estar, as with any other verb, they have to agree, as I just mentioned. So here are some examples. Los estudiantes están preocupados por Miguel. Elena está nerviosa a causa del examen. Notice the matching going on. The agreement, as we say. Now, ser also means to be, but more specifically, to be like, a condition that doesn't change. So, see if you remember. Yo soy. Tú eres. Él, ella, usted es. And notice what these mean. How about nosotros or nosotras? Somos. Vosotros, vosotras. Sois. Ellos, ellas, ustedes son. And take a look at the meanings. So examples of use of the verb ser have to do with descriptions. Yo soy alta. I'm tall. Tú eres estudiante. You are a student. Él es rubio. He is blonde. Ella es morena. She is brunette, dark-haired, etc. So these are states that are more constant, not changing, so therefore not using the verb estar. Let's take a look at the difference between when you use ser and estar. Describing yourself and others and expressing conditions and locations using estar and ser and estar. Look at this ejemplo. Yo estoy muy aburrida con tu cuento trágico. She's rolling her eyes and telling him, I'm very bored with your tragic story. Aburrida is a state that's temporary. Later on, she'll be busy with something and not bored, so this temporary state requires the use of estar. You already know that the verb ser is translated to be, and you've already used the verb estar, also translated as to be, in expressions like como estás. While both of these verbs mean to be, they are used in different ways. Let's take a look at estar. Use estar to express location of people, places, or objects. Por ejemplo, la profesora Suárez está en la biblioteca. Professor Suarez is located in the library. Los libros están en la mesa. The books are located on the table. Notice how I interject located to help me realize that I'm using estar and not ser. You use estar to talk about a physical condition, a changing state. ¿Cómo está usted? How are you feeling? Notice I interject feeling to help me understand I'm using estar and not ser. Estoy muy bien, gracias. I'm feeling well, thank you. Yo estoy un poco cansada. I'm feeling a little tired. You use estar to talk about emotional conditions, and I also will interject feeling in this because this is a changing state. El señor Albrega está un poco nervioso hoy. Mr. Albrega is feeling a little nervous today. Estoy muy ocupada esta semana. I'm feeling very busy this week. So to summarize, you use estar to express location, physical condition, and emotional conditions. Let's take a look at when you use ser. Use ser to identify yourself and others. Soy Ana, y esta es mi hermana Luisa. I'm Ana, and this is my sister Luisa. So you're identifying yourself and others, stating names. You're using ser. Use ser to indicate profession. Pablo Picasso es un artista famoso. Pablo Picasso is a famous artist. So when you're saying profession, occupation, you use ser. Use ser to describe personality traits and physical features. These are non-changing states, permanent states. Somos altos y delgados. We are tall and thin. Somos buenos estudiantes. We are good students. So notice this is a general state, although you might change from thin to heavier. That's not going to happen quickly. It's not going to happen from 1 hour to the next, like a changing state estar, using estar. Use ser to give time and date. Es la una, it's 1 o'clock. Hoy es miércoles, today is Tuesday. Time and date. Use ser to indicate nationality and origin. Eres española, no? You are Spanish, right? Sí, soy de España. Yes, I am from Spain. Nationality and origin. Use ser to express possession with de. Este celular es de Anita. This is Anita's cell phone. Remember how apostrophe S, Anita's cell phone, does not exist in Spanish. So instead you have to say cell phone of Anita, and that is using ser. Este celular es de Anita. And finalmente, to give the location of an event, where an event is being held. La fiesta es en la residencia estudiantil. The party is in the dorm. Even though you can interject is located in the dorm, it is situated there. It's a more permanent description of that event. It's not going to be changing. That is where it is. So to recap, use ser to identify, to indicate profession, to describe personality traits and physical features, to give time and date, to indicate nationality and origin, to express possession with de, and the location of an event. Here's our summary. The verb ser is used to identify people, indicate professions and occupations, describe personality traits and physical features, to give date and time, to indicate nationality and origin, to express possession with de, and to give the location of an event. Now let's take a look at when estar is used. To express location of people, places, and objects, to talk about physical conditions, and to talk about emotional conditions. So notice there are only 3 areas in which estar is used. A location of people, places, and objects that's changeable, not the location of an event. That's the only tricky one. So you could say to yourself, if I can put feeling or located into that sentence, I will be using estar, with the exception of the location of an event. Best way to learn this and to better understand is with la práctica. To talk about physical condition, is that ser o estar? Estar. ¿Cómo se dice en español, my friend is sick? Mi amiga está enferma. We're using estar for physical condition, a changing state. Which do you use to identify people, ser o estar? Ser. ¿Cómo se dice they are my brothers? You are identifying them to others. Ellos son mis hermanos. Ser, used to identify people. Which do you use to express location of people, places, and objects? Estar. ¿Cómo se dice Marco and I are located in the house? And this is changing. In a couple of hours, we may be located at school. Changing state. Marco y yo estamos en la casa. Which do you use to describe personality traits and physical features? Ser. Now these are features that are more stationary, that aren't likely to change quickly. Como se dice, I happens to be a masculine, single person male, am tall and interesting. Yo soy alto e interesante. A few things to note: you don't have to use yo. The form soy, the conjugation, is only used with the subject pronoun yo. And notice that when you say and in front of a word that begins with I, you need to change and y, e, to a for sound. Yo soy alto e interesante. Moving on, ser o estar, to give the location of an event. This is ser. This is the one that, in my opinion, is the tricky one. Como se dice en español, the party is in the cafeteria. Now, I know that you can use located, but you need to remember this is the location of an event. La fiesta es en la cafetería. Ser o estar, to talk about emotional conditions. Estar, an emotional condition, is a changing state, so you can interject feeling. You are sad, right? And the you is singular informal. Tú estás triste, ¿verdad? Do you have to use tú? Nope. The conjugation estás is only associated with tú. Which do you use to give time and date? Ser. ¿Cómo se dice the class is Mondays at 5? La clase es los lunes a las 5. Remember, you use los lunes to describe Mondays in general, which is used to indicate professions and occupations, ser o estar. Ser. ¿Cómo se dice Elena and Anita are students? Elena y Anita son estudiantes. How about to indicate nationality and origin, which would be the country you are from? Again, ser. Maria is from Spain. She is Spanish. One is origin, country from, the other is nationality. María es de España. Ella es española. Ser o estar. Completa cada oración con la forma correcta de ser o estar. So 2 parts here to complete each sentence. First of all, take a look. Do you think you would use ser or estar? And secondly, conjugate the verb in the correct form. Nosotros en la cafetería. Estamos. We are located in the cafetería. It's not an event. It's a place where people or places or things are located and can change, a temporary state. El profesor Delgado es. El profesor es delgado. The teacher is thin. This is a description that is not changing quickly using the verb ser. 3. Verónica y Maite enfermas hoy. Están enfermas hoy. They are sick today. So this is a condition that is a changing state using the verb estar, a condition, emotion that changes. 4. Ustedes costarricenses. Ustedes son costarricenses. So this is nationality. You all are Costa Rican. 5. Yo, estudiante de primer año. Yo soy estudiante de primer año. I am a first-year student. Profession, occupation, the verb ser. 6. La fiesta en mi casa. Careful with this one. This is the location of an event. The party is in my house, the verb ser. 7. Mi casa en el centro de Quito. Mi casa está en el centro de Quito. My house is located in the city center, downtown Quito. Remember, this is the location of a person, place, or event. 8. La clase de estadística aburrida. La clase es aburrida. So the class, this is a description of the class. This is not a changing state. So the class isn't feeling bored. The class is boring. Notice the difference there. If it was la estudiante, what would change? La estudiante está aburrida. In that case, it would be a changing condition or state of the student. 9. Las tabletas de la señorita Ortega. Son. This is possession using ser. The tablets are of señorita Ortega. They are señorita Ortega's tablets. 10. Hoy, el 15 de junio, y las 5. Hoy es y son las 5. This is time and date using the verb ser. Y 11. Tú, un poco triste, ¿verdad? Tú estás un poco triste, ¿verdad? You are feeling a little sad, right? A changing state. How did you do? And a bit more práctica, completa las oraciones con la forma correcta de ser o estar. Por ejemplo, yo soy estudiante, estoy en clase. I am a student. That's profession, occupation. I am located in class, so changing location. 1. El señor Ortega, muy ocupado. Está muy ocupado. En la oficina. Está en la oficina. Señor Ortega is very busy, is feeling very busy, or is very busy changing state. He is located in the office. 2. Nosotros divertidos. Somos. We are fun. We are fun people. Description using ser. Contentos ahora. Estamos. We are feeling content now. So that's a changing state, estar. Rogelio, profesor. Using the verb ser, he is a professor, so that's occupation. Verb ser. Blank, alto y delgado. Es alto y delgado. He is tall and thin. That is a description using ser, not a changing state. Alejandro y yo de Barcelona. Somos de Barcelona. So that is giving your origin, country, place of origin. Blank, aquí en Estados Unidos por un año. Estamos. We are located here in the United States for a year. 5. Pedro y Arturo enfermos. Están enfermos. They are feeling sick. Changing state or condition, estar. Blank, en el hospital. Están en el hospital. They are located in the hospital. Y finalmente, número 6, esta computadora blank de Lucía. Es de Lucía. This is possession. We can't say Lucia's computer. We have to say is of Lucía. Lucía blank, una estudiante muy trabajadora. Es. Lucia is a very hardworking student. That is a description, not a changing state. The verb ser is used. How did you do? Muy bien. El fin. Bravo.